Hello and welcome to coverage of Grand Prix Ottawa. Marshall Sutcliffe in the booth with Brian David Marshall, and we are underway in the draft portion. Both of these players, Vincent Thibeault and Sam Black, escaped perfect yesterday from sealed, which is a great feeling. It's got to be just the best. And let's see what Sam's up to here. We've got to watch his draft.
Expect to see a lot of this from Sam.
Yeah, he's not Obzon. Let's just put it that way.
Right. He's got I think 9 non-basics. Only one of which makes red, even though his deck is somewhat red-based in terms of its early creatures.
Now Thibeault hasn't actually done anything as Bitter Revelation his first play of the game.
It is.
Wow.
First of all, is there anyone?
And Sam has cooperated perfectly with him.
Yes.
Players are still
Sam does
for
nothing.
Please look for the
He's got 5 colors. He's got 4 colors on turn 3 and just does nothing.
Yeah.
Where's those leaping masters?
I don't know. So land and Dissonance has to go to the yard, but he gets a throttle and a shambling attendance.
Wow.
So again, once again, my
you got to figure like he's going to be well set up going forward, but with no pressure whatsoever, Sam's going to have the time to develop his mana.
Excellent judge crew that's going to be helping us out
and
today.
This is not impressive.
Right.
A War Shrieker just as a hill giant is not great. This is not the power level you expect from a 5-color deck.
No.
The payoff has to be there. And Sam waffled a bit in the draft portion. He was a red-white aggro deck for a lot.
Very loudly, so that one of my staff can come find you.
All right, so here's a throttle to take it down, though. Thibeault has nothing going on.
And there's an armament core that, again, was super late.
Yeah, and it's fine here. I mean, it's a 6/6 for 5. Like, it's going to have to be dealt with, and that can be pretty tough to do.
See another throttle from Vincent.
It's not going to get it done, at least not on its own. So let's see what Thibeault comes up with here. All right, well, he's got the answer in hand. So away it goes, Smite the Monstrous. And Sam Black just hasn't really been able to do much here as far as keeping stuff on the board. And Thibeault actually has a really nice turn here, following up with an 8-aught Bondkin, too.
So here's a Leaping Master and an 9-aught Bondkin from Sam Black. And now Sam's kind of hiding behind his Feet of Resistance.
This is just the weirdest curve I've ever seen, BDM. Look at what Sam just did. Like, he played War Shrieker with nothing, then Armament Core by itself, which is kind of weird on its own.
Right.
And then he just played 2 2-drops on like turn 7 or whatever. It's like, what is happening? This is usually the sign that a draft didn't go exactly according to plan when you're running Leaping Master alongside other 5-color stuff. Also interesting to note that 3 of his 4 cards are just in red-white.
Here we go. I think he's going to attempt to throttle the Bondkin here. Oh no, he's going to play the Shambling Attendance.
Wow, that's great for Thibeault here. Attendance is a huge problem for Sam Black. He's going to need to have a removal spell to kill that, or else it's going to hold up the ground forever. I like the way that Thibeault's played this. He's really kind of set this up, you know, thinking a little bit longer term since he didn't have a lot of action early. Now, Sam has got Burn Away in his deck. I don't know if he's got it in his hand, but we'll see it if he does. He's got 5 mana pulled aside and almost tapped it. Oh, he does. He has Burn Away in his hand. All right. Shambling Attendance down. And get rid of the rest of your yard while you're there. And take 4. Now, does Sam have a land drop? No, so he can't protect his creatures with Feet of Resistance, but nah.
He doesn't really care.
Yeah, it's not that big of a deal here. Ooh. Rakshasa's Secret for Vincent Thibeault. And did you see that finger? He said, how many cards you got in your head? I guarantee it. And once they do, you're like, uh-oh, should I play that last land? Like, what happened here?
So what card does Sam keep?
He ditched Feet of Resistance and Mardu Horde Chief, so he kept the other card. I don't know what it is. Must be something big. So it looks like Bondkin might have to stay back on blocking duty here unless Thibeault has another follow-up play. You know, some creature.
Right. Throttle's the leaping
Throttle the
master.
leaping master.
Yep, because that actually represents the most immediate threat. You know, the two Bondkins can sort of
Yeah, he can
trade
drop one
off
eventually if he wants. He did actually attack though, which is kind of interesting since he's so far behind in the damage race. And Sam Black's going to play face down. No, he's not. He's getting aggressive here. Arc Lightning, do 2 to that, 1 to you, attack you for 2.
And then I think he's going to morph a Snowhorn Rider.
That's right. So a productive turn there for Sam Black, no doubt about it. Does Sam have the mana to turn it face up? Does he not have? He has blue?
Oh, he doesn't have blue.
Yeah, no blue. So yeah, this is a little bit of a clunky affair here for Sam. But he's definitely trying to make the best of it by getting in for damage whenever he can and trying to stay in the assertive role here. Wow, infinite removal here for Thibeault, though.
Yeah.
He finds a Rite of the Serpent to take down the Snowhorn Rider. But now it's interesting because the Bodkin can kind of go to
He's just playing like a murder deck.
He's murdered everything Sam's played, and he's out of gas.
So last creature standing, and oh, it looks like we've just
see something?
Drawn a doozy for Sam.
What was it?
He's lining up.
Rhino, was it?
It is a Rhino.
Oh my goodness! What a great draw for Sam. That's going to make this clock incredibly quick. Nice top deck there, sir.
Siege Rhino, a third pick, a third pack, I should say.
It was actually just like the perfect pick or perfect draw there too, because it put him on a 1-turn clock. Now if he draws a land, the game ends. And there's not much that can get in the way of a Siege Rhino anyway.
Right, he's like, did you draw kill shot?
Nope.
No, you did not.
Sure didn't. So Sam able to stay in the offensive role for the duration. There was that one attack from Thibeault. It might have come back to haunt him. Now, as it turned out, his guy died anyway.
Right.
So
right.
You know, but gotta be careful.
The arc lightning would have killed it no matter what.
That's right. But still, you got to wonder if he should have held it back. He was at 14 and Sam was at like 22.
Yeah.
It's like I don't know.
Yeah, like his best case scenario there is not. Still has him dying in that race.
Right. So, interesting game though. Thibeault actually just ended up running out of gas even after playing Bitter Revelation on turn 4, leaving him with 7 cards in hand. You can see Andrew Cuneo and Ari Lax. There's Shahar Shenhar and Tom Martell playing against him. We have blockbuster.
Yeah. These matches, you know, as we get deeper and deeper into day 2, and this, you know, by all accounts, you know, very skill testing limited format. We should see bigger and bigger names colliding.
Right. We've got Matt Costa and his opponent there is like, geez, there's a lot of big name pros at this table.
Yeah.
But all 4 of our main matches here are from our Pod 1, so they all had a fantastic day 1 no matter what.
6 players in the feature match area have Pro Tour Top 8 experience. 2 of them are Pro Tour champions. 1 of them is a world champion.
Has Shahar top-rated a Pro Tour? Am I asking a dumb question?
He has not. Oh, I'm sorry, you're right. So 5.
Yeah.
5. I'm counting.
I mean, he is a world champion.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not. I don't want to take that away.
No, you're right. I'm sorry. It's 5. It's 5.
So is he top of your list?
He's
the
right.
BDM list is always being curated by by you, but you know, who's the best player not to have a top 8?
Right. Yeah.
Ari
most points. Ari was up there for a while. You still have Suchin Kuo, who's I think far and away the leader, also a world champion.
Yeah.
World Magic Cup champion. Because he's over 200 lifetime pro points without a Pro Tour top 8.
And a great success at the GP level as well.
Yeah. And you also have Robert Jerkovic from the Slovak Republic.
Totally.
Who has who's creeping up towards 200 lifetime points. Yeah, even Flock is off that list.
Close,
Ari's off that list.
Yeah, they've been dropping like flies.
Owen was on that list. Reed was on that list.
That's right. Jerry T for a while. Like it's been.
Yeah.
I guess Shahar's on it. It's just hard though because he was a world champ.
Yeah.
Like I know it's not the same, but it's like he beat the best in the whole world.
And there was a time where the world championship was a Pro Tour. Depending on who you talk to.
And now it's like a Pro Tour.
Yeah.
Just with 24 people instead of 300 or 400. All right, let's see if Sam can craft another victory out of his
5-color Leaping Master deck.
Leaping Master. Rashad wants to call it like Sultan Master or Sultan Leaping Master. Give it flying, attack. Okay.
So disowned
Disowned Ancestor. Yeah, a little bit of a quicker start here from Thibeault. Remember, his first play was turn 4 last game.
Yeah.
And it didn't affect the board.
No.
He didn't do a whole lot.
And he was lucky in the sense that Sam was putting him under no pressure.
Right, none.
Sam didn't do anything until turn 4, turn 5.
Yes, that's correct. He played his first play was turn 4.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was the Mardu Warshrieker with no raid.
Right. I feel like those cards should all be like flip cards, like the raid cards, and they should have a name when they don't actually
like
raid.
sad Mardu
So it should be Mardu Warshirker.
What do you call the Mardu Horde Chief if it doesn't get raid? Like Ward Deputy or Mardu Deputy Chief or something, like assistant to the regional. All right, so 3 tri-lands in a row for Sam Black, and even an Anok Bonkin, so a nice little start here for Sam.
Oh, he's the Mardu Board Chief.
I like that. Yeah, Sam's deck is funny. It's essentially red-white splashing all the other colors.
Right. And the Disowned Ancestor gets his groove on.
All right, so here we go. Vincent Thibeault eventually going to start battling, and I like it. Now he's building out his board and putting some pressure on Sam, because now, like, Thibeault can maybe play a land next turn and have that more flipped up into something huge, and things can get out of hand pretty quickly. Thibeault's just going to take the 2 here, but this is probably a raid trigger situation for Sam. No, it's not. He's just beating down. And a 4th, multicolored land.
Does that make red?
It does.
Okay, that's the only non-basic in his deck that makes red.
Okay. Didn't he get a Bloodfell Cave somewhere in there?
He
had one. No, he's got mountains in any case. But in the meantime, throttle your morph and beat you down for 4. So
right, it was a Snowhorn Rider.
It was Snowhorn Rider. Ooh, dead drop though in hand for Sam Black. He's nowhere near it at the moment.
Not close.
That's a long-term plan that could really do nicely against a deck like Thibeault's, who's like, I mean, look at that, 2 great targets here. And Bonkin's going to pick up a counter after Leaping Master. Again, you normally don't see dual, tri-land, Leaping Master go.
Correct.
But here we are.
No, Leaping Masters are just Lotus Petals in this deck. Right? I just want to trade my Leaping Master for anything.
I know.
And then, use it as fuel for my dead drop. And by the way, he has the Ward in the Eye in his hand, so he could do the whole...
he could live the dream.
He could live the dream, yeah.
All right, well, I'll be here. So. So a couple of red sources now for Thibeault, though, so he's clearly... fully in Mardu. Costa wins 2-0.
Yeah, not that shocking. His deck was...
He hits his mana, it's game over.
His deck was pretty, just pretty sick. Okay.
And it's an Anok tracker, so nothing too impressive, but he does get in for an additional damage. Yeah, I think he would have hoped to do something a little bit more productive with his turn than that. I think you just maybe hit him for 4 and then play some more. I mean, he's got cards in his hand. Like, why wouldn't you just develop your board there?
Right.
I don't know exactly what cards he has, but I think he's got 2 or 3, so you got to figure he's got a creature in there he can cast. Burn away.
Yeah, gets the Ancestor.
Wow, so that was just in the nick of time. I mean, the thing was already at 6. Toughness, so that was the last chance.
He gets a Leap Master and then leaves the Bonkin back to get into a first strike battle.
To trade. Shahar wins 2-0 over Andrew Cuneo as well, and this is going to be right of the Serpent on that Bonkin. And he's even going to get the Snake token out of the deal, too. Nice. Little value there, and get in for 3. So nice sequence of events there for Thibeault. He's moving things forward in a nice fashion here. He's got Sam Black down to 9.
We're very
Sam
close.
Sam draws another Leaping Master off top.
We're very close to being able to cast Dead Drop.
We're at what, 9 right now?
I believe we're at
mean, Sam doesn't have any untapped lands in his hand or deck, so.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, well, I mean, you know, Leaping Master can block something.
true. I think Sam's got other stuff to do with his mana and set that up for next turn.
Yeah.
The snake's really annoying for that.
Yeah, oh,
though.
yeah. That's why you just trade the Leaping Master.
Maybe
for
he'll
it.
just trade it. If you're Thibeault, you just have to be like, why would you ever do that? I don't know. I mean, it depends on what Thibeault plays next turn, right? Because if Sam Black, like, if Dead Drops says kill both of your creatures, then it doesn't really matter what they are. You just need to use it, you know? If it says kill two of your two worst creatures and leave a bunch of decent stuff behind, it's a different story. He is offering the trade.
Well, he does have feeder resistance in hand, too. I mean,
To take out this snake, I think he wants it to die.
yeah.
Yes. So now he does have Dead Drop, but it's not actually an advantage to
Right.
playing it. And Thibeault has just be completely stumped here. He's like, what just happened? He could have just given it flying, got in there.
Well, and now he gets to feeder resistance his Leaping Master in combat and maybe eat the.
And make that Dead Drop just the best long-term play.
Yeah.
Okay. That's interesting.
Can Warden of the Eye back a.
Yeah, I mean,
a
he
burn away.
also is taking some risk there, though, with the throttles and stuff that he saw. So he might just want to take the 3 and just hope that Thibeault plays another more for a creature or something.
Yeah, Sam is down to 9.
Yeah, that's perfect right there.
Yeah.
This is perfect. Like, he can take the 3, go to 6. He doesn't even attack. What just happened there? He's playing around something that Sam, like some kill shot or something?
And we see the Dead Drop. Give him to, and we're going to see it. He's going to Warden of the Eye back the Dead Drop next turn.
Sam's going to do it, isn't he?
He's going to.
Oh, no.
Can he? He can Mardu Warshrieker into Warden of the Eye.
I was just trying to do the math, and now that the Blood Flies is there, he's going to do. They need to get some counters on it. Let's get some counters on the Blood Flies. There we go.
Oh
so
my
Sam's
gosh.
going to attack. I can't believe this. He can do it
Just
too.
like we drew it up in the locker room.
Warshrieker into Warden for my Dead Drop, your move. Unbelievable. I think Sam's making sure that he has the correct mana symbol set up first, but he does. Thibeault goes down to, looks like 12.
Oh my God.
No, here we
it
go.
comes.
God,
Warshrieker.
trigger.
Oh, he's going to Bitter Revelation.
Oh, so boring. He can do it next turn now. I actually think I like just getting Dead Drop there. Like, you don't necessarily want your opponent to know, but you also get an additional 3/3 on the battlefield. You know, he had put himself at 8.
Right.
With it, like, who cares if they know if you have the Dead Drop?
Right. What's he going to do?
Right.
Not play a creature? Okay.
Yeah, this is actually somewhat risky here. I mean, Sam's going to drop down to 5. He could just get Arrowstormed or whatever out of here. It's really unlikely that his opponent has it, as he seems to be splashing red, but, you know. He would be dead either way, though. Sam would. He can't play around that, but he does want to make sure he gets this, gets these creatures off the board as quickly as possible. Now, Sam, though, is also presenting great threats here and really looking to try to take this race down. Because Thibeault's going to need something like his Arc Lightning.
Yep. And now he's just going to get, does he get back Dead Drop?
Yes, he
yes.
absolutely
Oh, there
got
we
that
go.
Dead Drop.
Achievement unlocked.
Yes. So let's see if Thibeault can do this. I mean, he can win this game. Like, Sam's at 5. He can kill a creature, get it to 3. Needs a pump spell of some sort. If he has Arc Lightning, he can just attack and then finish off Sam. Sam can't block. Sam could have engineered the turn where he leaves Leaping Master up instead to block.
Right.
But he apparently doesn't have Thibeault on anything that can kill him, so He's going to try to set up the win this turn. Thibeault's going to pass the turn back with Throttle in hand, but the feat of resistance from Sam is going to thwart that, and I think Sam's going to win here.
Yeah, Sam, 4, 8. I mean, he can also just cast Dead Drop.
Just to get the thing out of the way?
Yeah, if he wanted to.
Yeah. So we're going to see Throttle on one of the 3/3s, and I think that's going to be all she wrote here for Vincent Thibeault.
This is my favorite draft deck ever.
Sam's?
Yes.
Oh, come on.
I mean, after my double secret plans deck from yesterday.
Yeah, of course.
Okay. Block the Horde Chief, throttle the War Shrieker, feat of resistance. That should be game.
And that's going to do it. So Sam Black defeats Vincent Thibeault 2-0 in an explosion of value.
And I just want to sort of role play out a scenario where Vincent Thibeault goes back to his friends and they're like, oh, you lost, what happened? He's like, I don't know.
Yeah, who knows? I remember a Leaping Master and a Dead Drop.
I remember a Leaping Master, a Siege Rhino, and a Warden of the Eye.
Yeah. Multiple Leaping Masters, I'll let you know.
Yeah.
So.
He was aggro 5-color control.
Yeah, with a combo finish. So good start there for Sam for his draft. It was a weird draft, but
it was a
here.
super weird draft. It was awesome. Remember that Dead Drop pick? You're like, well, how does that work in his deck? Oh, well, perfectly.
So we're going to check out and see if one of our other side tables is going to be able to go in and check that out. And there it is, Ari Lax versus Tom Martell. So battle of the minds here for sure.
Yeah, Martell was not. Oh wow, that's a big dead drop.
We're just dead dropping all over the place here. Wow, this is a stocked graveyard here for Lax. Yeah. It looks like he's dead dropping to wipe away Tom's entire board here.
Yeah. But no.
But it looks like there's no board on either side, and there's multiple suspension fields over there.
I know Tom has 2 suspension fields in his deck, but it looks like one of those belongs to Ari.
Yeah. What's the other card that's floating around over there? Do you see that there's 2 suspension fields on 2 cards and then there's something else? What is going on there? What's that card on the bottom?
I don't know.
Oh, there's a 3rd suspension field under it. Do you see it peeking out? So there's 3.
And an Armament Core.
Wow, nice rebuild plan here though for Tom Martell.
I talked to Tom about his draft, and he started out in his draft thinking that he was...
well, we have entered the mirror. There's no doubt about that.
Tom started out thinking he was going to be a teamer, and was solidly teamer, and then just it dried up.
Oh, that's brutal when that happens.
And there were some armament cores going around late, and there was some suspension deal, and he's just like, okay, and he's just really like there was a pick where he was like kind of early on. He was like, I could either take this Snowhorn Rider, or I could take this Abzan Battle Priest, early in pick 6 in pack 1.
So this was the decision point.
And he's like, I'll take the Snowhorn Rider.
Okay.
And it was just like, no.
All right. So if you want to break the mirror, you injure your opponent's version. And wow, what a nice sequence from Martell. Now he can block with his Sagu Archer because the opposing threat is down to a 4/4, and Tom does exactly that.
Let me see, Ari shrug. Like, okay.
Yeah, well, you figured it out. And it looks like Abzan Charm is going to be used to take down the Armament Core. All right, but if this is the case, why would Ari attack there? I guess it's a free attack.
He thought maybe he was going to get a free attack in.
Well, it is anyway, because Tom doesn't realistically have a great attack back in the other direction. Uh-oh, Tom Martell.
Yes.
Oh, wow, he went deep.
Seek the Horizon. I'm like, oh, do you play this card a lot? Is this normally in your range? And he's like, no.
No, this card's terrible.
He's like, I hate this card.
Yeah, that's not a real thing, but I guess you do what you got to do to make your deck work. And that is, one of the strengths of really good players like Martell.
Venerable Lamasi.
Wow, these guys went deep. Haven't seen this in play much throughout the course of the format. Not a very good card. It's fine, like there's nothing wrong with it, but it's competing for way too much real estate with morphs and stuff.
Right, it's a big dumb flying dinosaur.
I mean, it could get it done here. Sheep in the air. Yeah, but anyway, what I was saying before about the attack from Ari is that it's free essentially because Tom's at much lower life total, so he can't actually attack back anyway. So take 5, discard a forest. that got a lot worse, but right now Tom's dead next turn. If
I think Tom has got a treasure cruise here.
He's going to need to find something to get in the way of that Lamassu.
Yep.
Because he's at 3.
Yeah, Tom's paying blue for a treasure cruise. Oh no.
What is that doing?
That is an end hostilities. That maybe that got
over. That was early?
That maybe have been earlier. Yeah, that was earlier.
Cruise. Wow. So we've just seen dead drop and treasure cruise for no problem here. Now remember, the Sagu Archer can chump block for once, but the problem is that he dies to the armament core in that scenario. So he's going to need to play at least a creature here that can jump in the way of the armament core while the Sagu Archer chumps. Ideally, he finds something like a kill shot.
Oh, well.
Oh, this changes it. He can put these counters on the Archer. That makes it a 7 toughness, and it can block, and now the armament cores can trade on the ground, leaving Tom Martell at 1 life with the attack. Wow. Armament core is a big game here. He just attacked? Wow, so he is stone repping. All right, now he's played another land. So he has either...
He just Icy Blast.
Oh, he Icy Blast.
Yes.
Oh, wow. What a huge swing for Martell. Wow.
So Salt Road Patrol off the top for Arilax.
It has to chump here. Right? This is 8. This is lethal. So block.
Right, but they bounce.
Oh, they bounce?
Yeah, it's 2-5.
Oh, it's 2-5, excuse me. Right. So he has to block here. But that does put Ari down to 3, and he needs to have a creature right now. If he doesn't have anything, he's going to die. And Martell's going for it because those creatures are going to untap and kill him anyway. So there's no fussing around here.
Wow.
And Martell pulls it out. Wow. What a great game. Are we going to get a game 3 here?
We are going to get a game 3 here.
Sweet.
A dead drop, an end hostilities, 3 suspension fields, 3 armament cores later. They're
but
going to game 3.
But it all came down to the cruise, didn't it?
Yeah, it all came down to the cruise.
Always about the boat full of gold. That's what it's always about. Wow. Man, how do you feel when you're Arilax, when Tom treasure cruises, and you're like, okay, fine, and then plays armor core, you're like, crap, like that kind of halts the assault here, and then attacks you, you're like, oh. So what was going through my mind was, so Tom played his land is that he would either have kill shot,
yes,
or
smite the monstrous.
Right,
Yeah,
that's what was going through my head, but Icy Blast does a nice job too.
Wow.
I was just thinking that same thing, my friend. That was insane.
So it looks like what are we 5 colors here from Ari as well?
I think he's Obzon. What did we see? That was
I just feel like I saw a Snowhorn Rider.
Okay.
And a Ponyback Brigade.
Okay, and he may have dipped over into any number. I mean, he's certainly capable of it. He drafted it to the Pro Tour.
Yeah, and then he just brought in what could be a backbreaking card in this matchup.
What was it?
Erase.
When you see the second...
It's the second suspension field, yeah.
It's pretty reasonable to bring in an Erase. It's usually not correct to bring one in after only seeing one target for it.
Right.
Even if it's a pretty good target, but the second one, for sure. I main deck it against you because I assume you have secret plans. You know, I was playing in a PTQ a couple weeks ago, BDM.
Yeah.
And I used Utter End on a secret plans. Oh. My opponent was like, slime. Because I thought about it for a while, and my opponent already had 2 morphs on the table. And I'm like, I think it's just going to get out of hand. Like, I have to do something.
Right.
So I killed it. He's like, I can't believe you did that. I was like, I can't either, but there it goes.
I've had my secret plans erased many times.
Erased, that's a thing.
I feel like I may have had it utter-ended as well.
Have you?
Yeah. Or maybe in a trail, but... Martel's just not as good.
It's not nearly as good. All right, well, it looks like Ari's mulliganing upside down.
But he's mulliganing for right side up cards.
Yeah.
It's like, I'd like some right side up cards. Tom, on the other hand, is capped, yeah.
All right.
Pair of Pro Tour champions here fighting each other. Ari Lax, of course, our most recent Pro Tour champion. He's the Khans of Tarkir Pro Tour champion.
Absolutely.
And Tom Martel has the dubious distinction of being the gate crash.
Indeed.
Pro Tour champion.
The crasher of gates himself has arrived. Okay, there's a few lands. All right, looks like we got a keep here from Ari.
Is there a reason you would look at your cards upside down that way?
I don't.
Okay.
You know why? Because they're harder to read. It's probably just a habit for him. So I expect slow starts out of these decks based on the graveyards that we saw before. They're just stacked up. All right, never mind. Martel has a different idea about this slow start nonsense. Oh, this is funny. I think that he's going to have to run that Skull Hunter out just bare here. I don't think you can wait. There we go.
Yep.
He's going to need to trade that off. He's going to take 3, 6, 9, 12. It's just going to add up too quickly. Wow, Abzan Falconer. So seriously nice curve here for Martel. Now, Ari's an interesting spot because he has Abzan Charm, so he actually wants Martel to put a counter on
Yeah,
this.
please sink some mana into your guy.
Yeah, put a counter on this thing so that I can kill it, especially so that he can use his mana up for the turn, which right now he's not doing anything else anyway. Yeah, you might need another drink of coffee here, Ari. You're going to need something in your hand to beat a pretty quick start here from Martel. I kind of want to see Martel play like Land Seek the Horizon. It's
just settle
3 power, 2 power, Seek the Horizon. Looks like Tom's thinking about giving Ari that chance. If we only see the attack, it is kind of interesting because Tom could also just not attack. Like, he could just not trade on the ground, but he's going to need to find something to get rid of that Skull Hunter otherwise. It's not going anywhere. All right, so that's good news for Ari because he could use his Abzan Charm here. And he does. And Martel does not trade off his horse for the Skull Hunter. So overall, that worked out about as well as Lax could have hoped.
Here comes an ankle shanker.
Wow, weird. Nice draw, though, and in they come. So here's 4 damage, and Martel's going to have to now try to race an ankle shanker.
You just have to kill an ankle shanker, right? Like you can't do it in combat.
No, but I mean he can race it.
Yeah.
Like it just depends on what. You
can. But
it's really tough. Yeah, it sort of depends on where you start out, right? And right now Ari's going to be ahead in the race because of that last turn. So
there you go, debilitating injury, the natural predator of the ankle shanker, and helm smashers everywhere.
Yes, Mardu. You know, for such a tough clan, they don't take a hit well.
Wow, look at that, 2 debilitating injuries.
Wow, Martel just firing off. You know what this tells me? That he might have a treasure cruise in his hand somewhere.
Yeah, he's like, they're going to tell you about shanking ankles, my friend.
Yeah, it just feels like, you know, you don't usually use debilitating injury on their ankle shanker or on their Mardu Skull Hunter. I mean, it will add up damage, so like he can't just leave it forever, but it's pretty aggressive.
Yeah.
There's a long shot squad for Martel, but the shambling abomination is going to sit there and shields up pretty nicely here on the ground. Shambling attendants. Seeking.
Oh boy.
He's looking. Might even find that horizon.
Yeah, Tom has some weird plans for his deck. Depending, like his deck goes in 2 different directions. Games 2 and 3, depending on what his opponent's playing.
Like sideboard style?
Yeah.
He can go really long game or not. Is that the deal?
Yeah, I mean, like he can bring in like a Sultai Ascendancy if he wants to in the control matchups. I don't believe the End Hostilities is a starting card for him in this.
Okay.
So.
Is that a morph?
It is a morph.
He's
so you see,
completely out of his sleeve.
Takes it out of his sleeve. I mean, so the reason you do that's really good operations. Playing in a tournament where the rules enforcement level is going to be a game loss for not revealing your morph. So if you just scoop up your cards, you pick them up at the end of the game, and you forget to reveal your morph, you can still go, oh, but all my morphs were unsleeved cards, so I can show them to you. And so there's almost no risk for you as a player. It's just the smart thing to do.
And you know how Ari got here. He was 6'3". He lost his last match, and his opponent forgot.
Oh my gosh!
That's
really?
How Ari got into
I did not know that.
Yeah. Which isn't I don't think that's a really good feel good for anybody.
No, well, it feels okay for Ari.
I mean, it's okay. Not, you know what I mean? Like it's like
There's a treasure cruise.
I knew it. I knew he was going cruising.
Yeah.
Old Tom Martell, an old friend of value for sure. Building out a board here, but Ari just got pretty aggressive and attacked here. So Martell's got to figure out if he's got Dragon Scale Boon or some other type of removal.
Dragon Scale Boon would be pretty sweet here.
It would be really nice. But Martell also just drew 3. What does Ari have? He's only got 1 card, right? Another morph, and he's just going to pass it. It is Dragon Scale Boon.
Yeah, Tom did not attack into it.
No. I had the read.
Yeah.
Tom had the read. It was a brazen attack, though, from Ari. He had to have something. Ooh, he's drawn an armament core now.
Yeah.
Now he's representing kill shot instead of the boon. But also just has a 5/5, by the way. So Ari getting in for damage. Can't see the life totals at the moment. But the life totals are going to start to get interesting here. I mean, Ari's doing his best to try to punish Tom for playing like Treasure Cruise and Seek the Horizon. Cards that just don't do anything onto the board. But it's tough because Ari's also not super ahead here. Tom's just going to accept the 2-for-1. He just cast a Treasure Cruise. He's feeling like a tough guy.
Yeah.
He's just like, you know what? Fine. It's not getting any better than this. He's only got 1 card in hand. If it was, he knows that card in hand is going to be something like a kill shot or a Dragon Scale.
But I mean, he believes it's a Dragon Scale, right? He's still operating under that assumption.
The main thing is he knows it's not Awaken the Bear.
Right.
Armament core. Oh, interesting. He's going to put 1 counter on either side. That could leave him for a little bit of damage here, but not a ton. Martell has 4 mana available, so unlikely to flip up his morphs. And at this point, Ari's just put up a big flag that says, by the way, I've got Dragon Scale Boon.
Yep. Still got it.
Still got it. His actions have been completely consistent.
Interesting that he picking up the die. Is he trying to oversell that he has Dragon Scale Boon?
That is interesting. He also could just be doing the thing where he's giving Tom a lot of credit for figuring it out. Tom is going to make this block under the full knowledge, though. I think he absolutely has Ari on it. It's the only thing that really makes sense.
But it's just a 2-for-2, right?
The judge just like, yeah. Alright, well, I guess you noticed the card. So they shoot practice and like,
Yeah. So yeah, just a 2-for-2 trade. And then Tom gets in for 3 and deploys 2 drops.
Okay. Sometimes you just take your medicine.
And Sagu Archer.
And he looked at it. We didn't get to see it.
It's a Sagu Archer.
It's an archer?
Yeah.
Okay.
So makes him spend his mana on the smoke teller.
Yeah. What's going on with Ari? He didn't take his morph out of the sleeve. He always does that. Scouting borders. guess he figures he's going to lose anyway. He finds a Woolly Loxodon and doesn't cast it. He wants to hard cast it next turn and leave the mana up to turn his Morph face up this turn.
Yeah, he wants to flip the Sagu Archer.
Right, now he said, oh, maybe we're back in it. Well, we'll go ahead and go for the plan A here. It's actually quite good here against the 2/2s. Unfortunately, with 2 big morphs here. Ooh, Pinewalker, just the brutalist. And there's no need to even spend the mana for Lax.
Yeah, R is just getting crushed here.
He's just getting smashed now. He draws 2 of his better late game cards, but I think it's just going to be too late here at some point, right?
Yeah.
And that's going to do it. Tom Martell defeats Ari Lax. He finds a way. I mean, he has to put in a little bit of curveballs here.